Okay, I'm gonna be short and sweet about it, bro. The show's ass. This is ass. I'm sorry. I'm not. Listen, and I know like that's the running thing on the show. Like, oh, Marcus is a racist. Like, okay.
Yes. Welcome back to the Blunt Lab. I am Al, joined by my brothers, Rick, Marcus, and Sean. Yeah, what's going on, fellas?
What's up? All?
Yeah.
How you fellas doing?
Well, are you
Miss Beatrice?
chilling like a villain? Well, today we're going to go into, I know we're going to recap a little bit. We won't touch on it too much because I know Marcus wanted to say a few things that he didn't get a chance to the last time. And we're also going to touch on Shogun and Parasyte the Grey. I can already see the tone. I can already hear the tone. I can already see the faces. Rick and Marcus have already been super disrespectful about Parasyte the Grey.
Ow. How did K-Dot put it? I'm a hater. I hate you. I hate the way you walk.
He put it a few different ways lately.
And he's dropping a diss track every day. So
You keep calling that. I didn't know he had a whole chamber full of those bitches. That's crazy.
For real, he dropping these shits left and right. Yeah, can't even keep up. Shit.
Let's start with let's recap a little bit because I know Marcus wanted to recap a little bit on the last topic of whether or not
hip-hop.
you feel hip-hop benefits or has benefited Black people during its existence.
I mean, it's like I said before, like it's kind of hard to say that it has benefited it, considering, but I don't know, man. If you think about like what the idea of it is, like the art of it, like it is kind of benefited people, people getting to express themselves and being creative, being artistic. So I don't know, man.
To go on that, like it is meant for them to be expressive. But seeing, to recap and to mention again, seeing who's running the industry, these record labels, none of those folks are Black. None of those folks are Black. And going back to what the music is pushing out, again, the females are teaching young females how to be a hoe. It went from gangster rap to gay rap.
What's crazy is I heard this quote, like it went from like drug dealing to drug using.
Yep.
Because like in the 90s, 2000s, it was all about serving and shit. Now it's about like being a drug addict.
Yep.
Essentially. And like,
I mean, like, dude, Lil Wayne, sipping on that scissor. That's his, right?
Yeah.
Well, no,
we all know
that's like 36 Mafia. Ain't it?
That's 36 Mafia.
They all sound the same to me.
That's
Not
crazy.
To be,
But he
I'm not trying
I appreciate it though.
definitely like he definitely like made it like extra. He glorified it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem with hip hop though. Like I feel like they're glorifying a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily positive. And like the cats that are like socially conscious and positive, like there's been a few that have like actually broke through. Like I mentioned Common before.
Dude.
Kendrick outside of what's going on right now with him.
Here's what I'm going to say about Kendrick, because I've been to a concert of Kendrick's. I think I've mentioned this before. It basically looked like a ritual.
I say that about a lot of artists lately, though.
They got him.
Because we don't want to dive too deep, it's like, but we've all know what they've done to get to where they're at. So it's not a surprise. But for me, the only reason why I claim that it hasn't benefited, because no one is taking their platform to push the Black agenda. No one is doing anything to put Black people in a positive light.
I don't think it's where it's supposed to. I mean,
looking at it from the outside looking in. From the outside, that's what I was going to say. From the outside looking in, like I can't sit there and say that I've been there every step of the way, but looking at people that have really put their voice behind it and really got behind the culture, like Nipsey Hussle, motherfuckers that, like there's a lot of people that have tried to do things and had movements within the culture, but then they aren't around very long. The ones that do stick around are the ones that have damaging messages and are talking about the ways not to do it. So they get to stick around. It just, looking from the outside in, I will say the ones that have been most influential because they've been around the longest are the ones that are damaging.
Because like Rick mentioned a popularity thing, like when you look at somebody like Jay-Z, he's super popular. But we all know Jay-Z's a biter. Take somebody like Jada Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker's gangster as fuck.
Yeah.
Jada, baby.
I think he's a better rapper than Jay-Z. If somebody wanted to fight me about it, come get it.
Top 5 dead or
Battle
alive.
shots are always open.
Let's talk about what's going on with Drake and Kendrick. Kendrick's coming out calling Drake for the bullshit that he's pulling because Drake really, Drake's talked about a bunch of bullshit too, and he's gotten propelled to the top.
Don't hate on the light skin. I'm just fine. So
honestly, he's always been kind of poppy. But when you get somebody out there like Kendrick who's really representing, like, it's a whole different game, and he's just he's stunning him now.
Yeah. And neither one of granted, Drake is Canadian. I don't know where Kendrick comes from, but either way.
He's from South Central.
Are they doing anything in their communities? Jaylen Brown took a big contract, claimed that, he was going to try to start another Black Wall Street.
I told you about that, though. They'd have killed his black ass, bro.
No, you don't understand, Al. I'm glad you brought that up, Al. I'm glad you brought that up. And in reference to the last episode, I think we didn't touch on this quite strong enough. Do you understand? This starts constantly, but to the machine sees it and hijacks it and either kills it or controls it. You understand? And that's what happens. Motherfuckers try to start the Black Wall Street stuff and all of that all the time. It happens all the time. And as soon as it starts to get any kind of traction,
I don't, like Gervonta Davis, I'm not a fan of, but he went and bought up a whole street to try to revamp it up, build it up. You know what happened? They burnt that shit down.
Man, that's what I'm saying, like every time. But you look at people like Drake, people that got platformed. I mentioned Drake before because you had mentioned, Jay-Z and how he's kind of a fighter. Like Drake is one of the biggest biters, and it's known now at this point. Like he's, between the ghostwriting, between him buying off people's beats and silencing them. Like, look what happened, that whole beef with Triple X, with XXXTentacion before he fucking died.
Allegedly yoked him out.
Or got murdered.
There was a bunch of weird shit with that too. And then there was a beat, I forget exactly which one it is now, but Drake came out with that exact beat that was just the exact copy of Look at Me. Mm-hmm. Like that shit was crazy.
Yeah, he takes your flow too. If he's on a song with you, he takes your flow. And he's
total biter. I see what you're saying, Marcus. Like, it was intended for folks to have a voice, but it's being used differently. I guess is the best way.
So that goes hijack,
but
just
that
like
goes
every
to
other
point,
moment.
Though.
That
goes to Rick's point. Like, there's a machine controlling it, and they're not gonna allow certain messages to get out.
Same thing as Hollywood.
Not get too far. Yeah.
Same thing as Hollywood. Same thing with Instagram. All the influencers. There's a power behind it, and they're not gonna let the wrong people have that voice.
Fuck no. Which is why
message.
All Black artists should keep their shit. Stop making these deals. Yeah.
Al, the only ones that make the deals are the ones that knows exactly what they're getting into. Like Nori said in that interview, if you try to go center, which is you, they're only going to let you go so far.
Well, they trade the power, the message. Like, you have this powerful message, but then they look at this and it's a bunch of money and influence and shit. And it's like, which one are you going to do? You're going to get behind the culture? Or are you going to go for yourself? Is it self or is it the rest of the people?
The seven
it's that choice. It's that choice.
We as a people have been struggling so long that money looks so good.
Yeah, what we're talking about last week. What we're talking about last week too. Can I give a shout out to Unique and his boy for coming on? Because listen.
Oh yeah. We want to thank them for coming on. Absolutely.
I've watched the show back a couple of times now, and even we all said it too as we finished the show. That was probably one of the more engaging conversations that we have all had while filming this show. Because let's face it, a lot of our most engaging conversations happen before and after it sometimes, right? But something about because I know, like you said, Marcus, like we didn't even get to a point where you even got to really elaborate on your feelings on it, because same thing, number one, I got lengthy at some points, as I do. But more importantly, it got very engaging. Like the way that we were coming from all these different angles, and like that shit's inspiring to me personally, because
it was great. It was great having Unique and L on.
And I just want to give a big shout out to Unique and L for coming on and just talking about that shit and the stuff about the fucking, oh my God, about Marcus at the talent show. Come on, y'all. That was.
I always got to remind Marcus and Unique about that, because they always let it.
Marcus was like,
I forgot
all the words.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Was great,
I completely blanked that out, out of my memory.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah.
Now
and
it
then
makes
the bitch
sense.
came up to me and my girlfriend while I was holding her hand and said some shit about that was so hot. You made my pussy
reckless,
wet.
I
was like,
talking reckless. I'm like, really?
I'm glad Marcus brought that chick up. I don't want to go too much off a tangent because I want to keep on track, but I will say this about that chick he was dating at the time.
Oh yeah.
She was a complete and utter psychopath. Okay, I'm not just saying that to be funny. This bitch was crazy. Okay, this bitch was
you gotta
crazy.
have a couple of them in the history book.
If you don't at least have,
let me tell you,
and it was an age gap too.
She was like 15 years older than you.
No, it was like 12.
Nice.
It was like 12, 13. She was like early 30s. I was like 19.
I'm going to say this and we're going to move on to our reviews.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say this and we're going to move on to our reviews because I know Marcus is ready to be disrespectful along with Rick.
Nice.
This bitch told Marcus, you don't need anybody as a friend but me. Damn! I repeat, you don't need anyone else but me. Yeah. Let's move on.
No,
they didn't want any of his people warning him.
I got one more story. So that day that she followed me, like I'm going to like a bowling alley or something with just my homies, wasn't doing nothing nefarious, nothing crazy. But like she followed me, right? And I realized it like as I was driving, I'm just like, man, I gotta lose her. So I pull up to the spot. She rolls up like a horror movie talking about, are you scared?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I was like, yep, I'm scared. Like, yeah, that was crazy. I can't believe you caught me. I swear I lost her, bro. I swear I did.
Marcus, as an older brother, did I not tell you when I met this bitch the first time?
Yeah, you did.
Always.
I pursued it, and I was like feeling happy and shit, you know? And then she showed me the side, and I was just like,
hindsight, though.
I don't know, bro. I gotta see it through. I don't know why. I gotta see it through.
And I've learned that, you know, whether it's my boys, my brothers, no matter what, if they're dating a chick that is terrible for them, you can't cause any friction. You got to let them ride it out. And, you know,
that's true.
Because from the outside looking in, it's always clear. But from the inside looking out, you can't see that bullshit. Everybody else full of shit. Everybody else is full of shit. Oh, you don't know her like I know her. It's amazing.
The psychopath African married chick that I was messing around with before, same tendencies as this chick. Same tendencies. And she attacked me, and I had to introduce her to a right hook. I mean, I told Marcus, hey, dog, you need to let that go before things get really bad, because shit can get really bad, bro. I've
seen it 100 times. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been there, man. Listen.
Like, dude, she had psycho tendencies. That's what
tendency, though. She was a psychopath. So there were no
that's true. Hey, real shit. And like, not to like blow it up or anything, like, I'm alive because I got out when I got out. Because had I stayed a couple months longer, I'd be gone.
Bro, I got bit before. I got bit and took a chunk out of my skin. Then she spit the skin out in front of me. Like, looked at me, like, glared at me. I was like, yo, the fuck? That's crazy.
We're going to have to touch on that on another episode.
Yeah, we got some stories, I'm sure. No fucking story.
No fucking comment. Let's start off. I'm married to a woman named Paradise, and there was no one before.
To me, man, that's the best answer I done heard.
That's the best way to see it right there. I can appreciate
Stay on that.
Let's start off with Parasyte the Grey.
인간 흉내를 잘 내는데
동족이 맞나? 뭔가 좀 다른데?
Now,
here we go. There we go.
I like to take this platform and opportunities to shed light on some of these shows because, Hollywood's not going to shed light on any of these shows. And, if Korea, I should say South Korea because I don't mess with the Northerners. If they want to send,
many of their movies.
Yeah, I mean, they would all look hungry and homeless. Let me just move on before Kim.
Skinny people.
Which one is in there now?
Is it John?
John,
I don't even know.
if he's alive still, who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
But I like to shed light on some of these shows because Hollywood won't. You know what I mean? Everybody's watching all the good stuff. Now, I will say this about a lot of these Korean shows. Like we've mentioned some of the good ones. Marcus has seen All of Us Are Dead, so he can vouch for that one.
That's a good one.
There's a Japanese show, Alice in Borderland. That's a great one.
That's a great one.
Yeah, Alice in Borderland was great. Now, the ones you guys haven't seen that I will openly, because I've given you my honest opinions on Sweet Home and some of these other ones, and we're going to talk about this.
Because you got a list, don't you?
I got a list. I like my Korean drama. You know what I mean?
You love K-dramas, sure.
No, you do.
I like my Asian brothers. Now,
I was telling Rick, I don't want to pigeonhole my friend, but if you were to go into your Pornhub history, I guarantee you that the tentacle count is greater than 0.
But Kingdom is a Korean show, but it's one of the zombie shows. It's great. Silent Sea is another one that's good.
Okay. There's some good ones. There are some good ones, the special effects.
Now, Parasyte the Grey. It starts off right away. I mean, you got... Now, before we go into it, I told you guys that from the couple of episodes that I saw that it's a cross between Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Venom. A lot of things get lost in translation. Yeah. So I know it can't be appreciated the way it's supposed to.
Was it the translation, though?
That's a good question.
Listen. I'm not going
to join the disrespect.
Hey. No, I know, because I know everybody has a lot to say about it. I know everybody has a lot to say. And I will say this. There's some cool parts. I will say, it's one of the few things that might have just single-handedly earned Korea quite a bit of a movie budget. The special effects were cool. There were some cool things. They did some cool things. But I feel like they were just oh, that's a cool movie. Let's throw that in. And then that's a cool movie. Let's throw that in. And then they just couldn't write the same dialogue that either one of those movies could. So it's not a terrible idea.
You think it was all over the place like Sweet Home?
No, it was way better than Sweet Home. It was far better than Sweet Home, and it was a lot more to the point. And that's what I'm saying. Looking from a couple of the other suggestions that we've had along this genre, this one steps it up as far as the cinematography. It's an actual movie. It's really well done. It's got quite a bit of a budget, and I think it's going to earn them a little bit more of a budget so they can continue to make movies like this. It's just, okay, like I said, the special effects are well done, but then the creatures, it's that's what they're going to look like. You had all this time to design these creatures, and that's what they look like. Stalks on eyes and tentacles. The tentacles did cool shit, though. I will say that. This is some of the most ingenious use of tentacles.
You know what that part reminded me of? Beetlejuice.
Yeah, they're very where they're just oh, let's come up with a scary face, and they're just this is what we wanted to
pulling
look like.
Pulling their eyeballs out, putting it here. Yeah, it reminded me of Beetlejuice a little bit.
Also, some of it's cheesy, like Heidi. You're just there's certain parts of it where, and again, I think some is the translation. I think you nailed it with that. It probably means something different, a little bit more long-winded in Korean. But yeah, I feel a little bit of it on audience is it's just the scene where they have this moving tete-a-tete with each other, Heidi and then the main chick, and they're in her mind, and it's supposed to be this big moving scene. I'm just that's so stupid. Just the dialogue, the way that it's written, I'm this should be moving, but it's not moving me. I'm not crying.
딱히 네가 더 저주받았다던가 그런 게 아니다.
닥쳐. 너 같은 게 나한테 들어온 것도 마찬가지야. 내가 재수도 더럽게 없는 년이라 너 같은 괴물이 나한테 들어온 거라고.
We'll get the rating after we get everybody's take on it. I want to. So, did you hate it?
I want to be the only one shitting on it. I wouldn't watch it again. And I'm glad that it's over. It's definitely not one of my favorite things that we've watched, and I think a lot of it is because of the fact that you have to it's an active watching thing, like because of the fact that it's the subtitles and because of the fact that it is in Korean, and I'm not trying to be racist like we often are on here, but
what else? You didn't watch it in English?
Well, no, you can, but I mean, still, there's only so much. I have to compare it because I know they're not saying the same shit that they're trying to. Yeah, I didn't make that mistake, but I don't know. When it's subtitled, like a lot of it, I don't know. I had to pay attention.
A lot gets lost in that.
Yeah, I had to pay attention to what was going on because when they say it, it's just like that's the way they translate it. Netflix has kind of that lapse in translation. So it's kind of like I didn't want to know what was going on through their translation. I wanted to actually see it. So yeah, you have to watch it too. It's an active watching project.
So let me just say you've been real light-skinned on your opinion about this show. We'll move on to the next disrespectful light-skinned brother on the show. Bucho.
Okay, I'm going to be short and sweet about it, bro. The show's ass. This is
ass.
I'm sorry. I'm not, listen. And I know, like, that's the running thing on the show. Like, oh, Marcus is the racist. Like, okay. But I'm not trying to play into it. But I watched this show and I was just like, Sean said it. The cinematography is cool and the budget was definitely there. The story itself, and just like you said, the translation of it, I was just like, oh my God. I'll say it like this. I couldn't wait for it to be over. It wasn't like I was like, man, I can't wait for the next one. I was just like, God, when does this end?
Why, God? Why?
And like you said, I'm not mad at you for it because you're trying to put stuff out there, and I get that. But me personally, ass. Buns.
I checked after every episode to see how many were left.
Cheeks. Any way you want to say it. And I know that sounds disrespectful. I know. Listen.
You got the real light skin right now. Just say you got the real light skin.
Hey, to any Korean viewers, followers, listen, I'm sorry. The show's ass. Now, this is what I will say. I feel like the K-dramas, like, their tropes are very, like, formulaic. Like, they all kind of follow the same kind of thing. Even if it's a different story, it's all, like, similar. That's why I be getting about the K-dramas, you know? Because I feel like a lot of their tropes are like, oh, yeah, I know where this is going. You know? I know. I get that. Like, oh, okay. And then, like, the way I don't know, man. I don't have anything good to say. I've been looking kind of cool. I'm sorry.
I had to look through Netflix to see if there was different kinds of Korean drama other than tentacle parasite stuff. I was like, is it all like that?
Essentially.
It is actually.
There's one called Glory. There's one called Glory, which is good, but I will say this. It's 16 episodes long. It should have only been 8. They could have fit what they did in 16 in 8 episodes. I know you guys won't like seeing how racist all three of you are.
Is there a season 2 of this show coming?
Oh, I don't know. But I mean, if there is,
they don't need to. They don't need to.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the disrespect.
No. And I know it's like a live action, like, remake of like a Japanese manga thing.
It's Venom.
Okay.
Is it?
Bro, I think so. And you know, and that comparison in itself, I'm like, Venom's kind of sorry too. So I'm like, that is the inspiration.
Yeah, Venom was done well. So to see more of Venom, I'm kind of like,
yeah.
The reason why I say venomish is that you have a parasite that has to latch onto you and needs you to be its host.
And then it controls.
Venom has some comedy. You know, Venom has some comedy in it.
Well, look, this one could have had comedy, but again, it might have been lost in translation. And your racism won't allow you to hear some racism.
Now, I like some of the cool stuff that they did with like the tentacles and stuff, but it leads me to like, what is their deal with tentacles? Like,
you know what?
Always. Why so always with the tentacles?
Shogun got on Freud on it.
I don't know.
Oh, so look,
No, Rick,
I'll give you my.
what's your take?
let me give you my take. Look, I didn't
Let's see how light skin you get with this one.
And
spit on my coffee.
I spoke about this both to my wife and to Sean often. I didn't hate the show. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely didn't have the hate that Marcus had for it. Although I don't think I had the same.
Marcus is really racist.
I don't think I had the same take on it that Sean did.
Might be.
That said, I did. So let me tell you what I liked about it first. All right.
A Korean market's gonna hate Marcus.
I liked the creatures. Like,
it can't happen, bro.
Their way of creating how the creatures sort of like were half what they were and half what that human was before it got the attachment thing. Like, really? I did like some of those elements, like the way, like, it was very alien-esque maybe, or something along those lines, where it's sort of like it doesn't just be it. And that's why I use the Venom comparison as well, because Venom really, at the end of the day, and same as this, is it pretty much takes characteristics from both of the sides, right? I really liked how some of those aliens could fucking yoke motherfuckers out, dude. Some of those kill scenes were insane. I loved them. Great cinematography.
Oh, I enjoyed to take out like 7 dudes. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Like how easy. like that. These were no zombies. These were no green alien guys. Like, these were motherfuckers that you don't want to come across, bro. Like, these bitches you up.
Whooping invasion force.
There was definitely elements to the show that I thought were pretty fucking badass. Out of all of the K-dramas that we watched, this one probably had
they're getting there.
Some of the better creature effects and fight kind of scenes, if you will, out of all of them. So, I'll give it a little bit higher rating than some of the others. But the story just, this is where I'll get disrespectful now. The story could not keep me on the motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? Like, at least try to entertain me with some of the dialogue. Like, at least try. Fuck your lost in translation, guys. Like, there was... You can translate this shit however you want. Like, it was definitely some dry ass dialogue. You know what I mean? So it was hard.
Like,
I know
the chick that was hunting him was meant to be like serious and funny at the same time. But again, there's a lot that gets lost in translation. There's really a lot.
Hey guys, I just want to add one thing before you go out. I'm sorry to cut you off. This made Twisted Metal like The Godfather to me.
This was hard to do. Season 2.
I had listen. You know how I shit on Twisted Metal.
He did not like Twisted Metal either.
I was like, that.
Whoa! You got season 2. You got season 2 of Twisted Metal to look forward to, bro.
I'm gonna watch it for the pod, but I'm not watching it for my pleasure.
Now, I will say this: I agree with all of you as far as the potential of the show, what it could have been.
Yes.
Special effects are great. Half the folks weren't ugly, which is also a good thing.
There was a lot of pretty people in it. I'll back that up.
Yeah. But yes, the writing could be better, but I take it as there's something being lost there. Now, I don't know if it's, like Marcus is saying, how they do, because, there is a formula to how they do stuff. And they do go about it a different way. Before you guys go, I'll just give it my rating. I give it about 2 blunts.
I'm in.
And those 2 blunts strictly come off the, the special effects, what they were doing with that. Like, I especially like the Parasyte that could fly. He took his pentacles and was able to fly.
Yeah, bro.
All right. Cool.
That's really interesting, man.
Heidi, being a half-breed, still looked disgusting. But, I like how, she's
What's
able
cool
to
about
do
the
that.
flying, I wanted to make a point that it's kind of cool how they go into the lore of it a little bit more than a lot of these Parasyte tendril shows do, too, because she actually says to that dude that flies, you specialized in this flying thing, whereas I specialized in killing. Yeah. Like, it takes them time to develop the skills that they have, and they kind of route themselves like a skill tree, trying to figure out who they're going to be. So it gave it a little bit more of a background and a colony like kind of feel rather than they're all just one amorphous thing. Like
it had all the potential in the world. And I will say this: if there is a season 2, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna see where they go. I won't force you guys to watch it because I can already see how you light-skinned racists have been with this show.
I'm looking forward to it.
Rick has been, but
hey, I might watch it just to troll it, bro. No, I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
But
like I said, I agree. There was some cool stuff. I'd say 3 blunts. Like,
3 blunts
in the middle, like because there was some cool stuff redeemable, but it's definitely not worth watching again.
Right on, Marcus.
I gotta stick to my script, okay? So I know that I gave Twisted Metal like a bowl or 2. I guess I'm gonna have to give this like maybe like a dab, man. Or like whatever's less than a bowl. Like
that
half
is
a
more
bowl.
than a bowl.
Or like not even a it is true. You're right.
Yeah,
not even
way,
like a
way
joint.
more coat.
I guess I have to give this. I have to give this nothing.
A resin ball.
I'm gonna give it a cigarette. Now I'm gonna give it a cigarette, bro.
What about you, Rick?
I actually, before you even said it, I was at the exact same spot you were. I was gonna give it 2 blunts. Those 2 blunts were for again, the effects and the ability, the creature feature, and the other one, like that got it a blunt. The second blunt came specifically from potential. Unlike hoping for a season 2 and for it to be better, I'm thinking more along the lines of I want an American like movie studio to hijack the idea and make it a little bit better.
Well, hey, look,
that's very racist.
I know you guys have been racist, but I want these folks in Korea to know that if you're looking for a light-skinned brother to be in one of these movies,
I'll be in the movie. I'm not against it.
Fucking you acting resumes.
You mean I love Korea? Whoa, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down.
I don't hate the people. I
just said the most racist thing the whole pod.
Like, I just feel like the product they're putting out, It's like, it's not against them.
Also, I said 3. I'm going to have to bring it down. It definitely wasn't worth 3. I don't know what I was thinking.
Fuck. I'm going to say it's disrespectful as you were. I'm surprised you gave it 3.
I was surprised too, and instantly regretted it. So let's go with 2. Which I still don't know it deserves.
Let's be honest, Sean, and let's just be real with it. Like, you were pretty much hitting me up after you watched an episode or 2 every time, and like you had positive things to say about it each time. So I get where you're coming from.
Because I'm curious now too.
Well, let me word it like this then, because
I will say there are positive things.
That's what I'm getting at. So you were quick to call me and be like, "Hey, I watched blah blah blah," and this was actually da-da-da. You seem to try to defend it, and that's where I guess I'm coming from.
I was kind of encouraging you to watch it so we could get this done.
Exactly. Like, you were encouraging it, you were defending it a little bit, because I was already telling you, I was kind of like, oh, the story is kind of hard to follow.
Well, no, I remember what I said it's not nearly as bad as Sweet Home.
Yeah,
it's not.
And it's not. Also, and it's not. That's for sure.
And it's not. It's definitely
that's a low bar, though.
But
that's a low bar.
Yeah, it really is. My thing is, and it still exists. Like I said, the production value on something like this versus most of the things that I've seen from most of the studios over there coming out was a lot higher grade quality.
Yeah,
that's true.
And I feel like the script had more love given to it. Granted, it didn't really make a lot of sense in our audience, but like that whole shit of like, oh, I'm a sad girl, I need to kill myself because bad things happen to me my whole life. Like, that's got to be a Korean thing.
Let me elaborate real quickly too. Like, to your point is basically like, as soon as it starts kind of getting you into, this is why I can't follow the storyline, because as soon as you start following,
let's wrap it up.
Yep. As soon as you get into it, they change it, and it's like a whole new story, and then they change that, and it's a whole new story. Like, I don't know.
I don't know that I got into it.
Yeah, which is a flaw. Which is a flaw with some of these shows.
Buns. 2 buns.
Hot trash.
You disrespectful son of a...
Remember, I'm always on my camera at 2 buns.
Hot trash.
2 butt cheeks.
Two butt cheeks. The people of Korea, this is not an indictment against you guys.
Yeah, keep them coming.
We have terrible American movies too. Come on.
Yeah, of course.
The next one,
very true.
The next one, I'm probably going to watch myself because it's far too many episodes. I'm just going to squeeze that in when I can. Something about the end of the earth. It's another doomsday thing. But moving on, Shogun.
Yes, sir.
Coming out of Japan.
Nah, this is coming out of Japan. Another good Japanese show is Alice in Borderland. You should check that out. That is a great show.
That's a great
Shogun. Well,
what
I know
ride.
I know how three of us feel, so let's turn it over to the disrespectful one first.
You know what kills me? It's like I didn't even shit on it when we did the first initial review. When we just did like a 4 or 5 episode review, I didn't say nothing bad. So I don't understand why I get like I get the rap like, oh, he's the one that don't like Asians. Like, why? Why am I that guy?
Racist.
With that being said, I know I gave it a 4 initially, right? I'll stick with my 4. I won't go lower. I mean, there was some points of it that like stood out to me, you know, but nah, you know what it really is? It's like, it's just not my kind of genre. That's really how I like look at it.
Fair
I feel like it's a great show.
Fair.
It's fucking greatly produced. Fucking acting is superb.
Phenomenal.
Like the dialogue is dope. Like everything about the show was good. It's just not my kind of thing, you know? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I won't even say nothing bad about the show. I thought there was a lot of good things about it, but it's just not necessarily like something that I would just flock to watch, you know? But I'm
I see
also
the Japanese.
one of few that have never seen Game of Thrones either, you know? Like one of the humans on Earth that hasn't. So
Shame.
Season
But I will
2
say
coming
this,
out.
I feel like you
the
should be
Japanese are
grounded
more
in that.
formulated with their scripts and their twists and how they do things. So
yeah,
I know it's easier to take it. Like for me, you know, the show's great. And
no, it's a good show. And I mean, like, old girl's death was like, that was tough.
I was gonna go there. Unlike what's his name? Goldust.
Spoiler alert.
Unless Goldust, well, not Goldust, but his little brother winning the championship. Her death. There's reason.
Well, you gotta just
shed a tear.
Wrestling,
Right,
man.
you know,
Why you gotta
there's
go there?
reason to shed a tear there. You know?
Why you gotta go there? I didn't take it there with anything. Why you gotta go at my stuff? Like, I that's something I love. Like, what did that have to do with anything?
I mean, I'm just saying there's a reason to cry because Mariko dies.
I watched it. I shed no tears. Wow. I didn't laugh or anything, but I was just oh man.
Because you're a heartless racist. I believe
that's quite possible.
You're Asian.
I might just lean into this.
See, like white people in Asia,
I say it so many
sentimental.
times before I go that way.
Yeah, like, I might just have to be this character. You're making me out to be. I might as well just be it.
Guess what? I'm the bad guy. What?
Say hello to the bad guy.
Shit. Nah, that's a good show, though. That's a really good show. That's a really good show.
I loved it.
And it's FX, so like they don't miss.
Scene, like, dude, she gave the Englishman ass for the last time. She knew where she was going with this.
She was so insistent on dying that episode. She's like, I'm gonna die one way or another. Fuck y'all.
That is true.
So she's like, I told you guys.
Just like, fuck.
Is that like I'm
out. I'm ready.
Is that like a tradition thing with the culture?
Of course.
Yeah, that's like okay, I get it. Because I mean, like, even with like the K-dramas, they kind of like.
Well, at the beginning of that episode, it was all about the culture because she was ordered by her feudal lord to come back. And they weren't letting her obey her feudal lord.
私は虎長様の家臣で明確な命を受けてまいりました。主君に従うことをお認めいただかねばなりません。
So rather than face the embarrassment of not being able to obey him, she was like, I'll kill myself, motherfuckers. And she was about to. But then at the end of it, they were like, all right, that's why Hashido's such a dick. He walks in, he's like, oh my God, drama, bitch. Jesus Christ. Oh, you can go home. You're free.
Here's your fucking papers.
Makes such a big deal about it. Like, and she was to kill herself. That's why she's like, holy shit. But then they sent the ninjas, the shinobis after her so that she could never leave. And it was going to be like more of a secret thing.
For God's sake, help me push this against the door!
私はケチマリコ。
マリコ様、¿qué es lo mismo?
こたびの石堂様の卑劣な襲撃に物申します。
マリコ殿もこちらへ。
自らの命を。
マリコ様!
But yeah, she ended up at that point, she just wanted to bring awareness to what they were doing at the castle. So that's why she sacrificed herself. She's like, I protest what this motherfucker is doing. He's not letting us leave. This is evidence. Now I'm dead. Which sucks because she was,
That was sad as shit though. Like that was some sad shit though.
Well, that whole fucking scene, her whole shit was super moving. Like the way that she lined up against those motherfuckers, she's like, I'm going out. And they fucking lined up and they were like, we'll kill you. And she's like, then fucking do it, man. Like she was definitely one of the strongest, baddest ass characters in the entire series. She was phenomenal.
Gangsta shit.
Yeah, dude. Super sick. And that scene was one of the best.
The things Toranaga had to sacrifice to achieve his
But by the end, when they do his turn, when they let you know his ambition, and it's funny because like they kind of alluded to it a little bit while he kept on throwing off the entire time. He's like, that's the last thing I want. That's the last thing I want. They tell you about his character. The whole thing about his character is realigning the side of the enemy to something that you don't even think that they like. You're totally turning him on their shit. He's such a skillful person at that he has aligned himself for Shogun the entire time, making everybody think that's the last thing he wants.
That dude is a fucking phenomenal actor too, man.
Sonata.
Absolutely, bro.
So in the very way that Toranaga was, Sonata is that guy. Like Sonata is a modern day Toranaga.
He's awesome, man.
No, Mariko,
he's fucking awesome.
There are two lines that kind of stick out to me because I want to have everybody wrap this up so Sean and I can take a few minutes to just. Mariko's line: "Flowers are only flowers because they fall."
死を受け入れること、すなわち諦めることではござりませぬ。花は散るがゆえに花なのでござりまする。
Oof, motherfucker, boy.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
To piggyback what you were saying when Toranaga was talking to the trader, when he was like, how does it feel to control the wind and blah, 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 Toranaga says, I don't control the wind. I only study it.
一体どのような心地がするものでございましょうか。殿はすべての風を己の欲しいままに操っておられる。
わしは風を操ったりはせぬ。読むだけじゃ。
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great scene between the two of them. Not only is he revealing all of his plans and stuff, but just their entire dialogue. And I mean, I feel like one of the biggest things to come out of that entire series was how he cast everybody on into this debate of, oh, they should have showed this big bloody battle. They sold us down the river by not showing this battle. This is never supposed to show the battle. Like, that's the beauty of it. A lot of people don't get that style of storytelling where it's going to allude to this future. They just took a snippet, this bite of the past, and said, this is what we want to represent. We want to show you what went on during these moments, in our opinion. We're not talking about the war. We're not about that war. The war, you already know. It's part of history. If you want to
and you see the Englishman is an old man, old in his bed, grandchildren.
Why is it chipped? Because grandfather used it to fight off a whole army of Japanese assassins. Was it really given to you by a savage?
Well, that was a cool scene too, because it made you think that it was a flash forward, like to where it was his future. And it was one possible future, which you don't get to see often. You usually don't get a look at the path not walked. Or like the future not lived. Like that was one image of that was what he kept flashing to. He's like, it could be this, but fuck that.
That was pretty dope. Hallucinating, not like hallucinating, but like just seeing what it could be, right?
Yeah, that was a possible view of the future, but he basically had canceled that when he went out onto the water with Fuchi and knew away the things of the people that had passed. He threw away Mariko's cross, and she threw away the ashes. So yeah, he left that version of the future behind.
Well,
stayed
in
Japan.
You, Rick? How do you feel about the show?
It's definitely the only movie in a long time that had me. I can't wait till is it Tuesday yet? You know what I mean? Like I wanted to see next week. Whether that means a lot, it should, because I typically wait till movies are fucking done. Shows are done before I watch them.
It does.
That's
how I was with Monarch.
Yeah, and the way you brought up Game of Thrones, Marcus, I'm glad you did, because to me, I basically everyone that I've spoke to about this show and promoted the show to, and there have been several. That's pretty much how I put it. It's basically a Game of Thrones story set in a different time period. It's 1600s versus Renaissance time, or however you want to word that. I loved it. I loved the style of storytelling. I think Sonata is fucking phenomenal. Like, this guy is cream of the crop. What a lot of our American directors and producers and all-in actors and everything wants to do all of it. The type of credit they get is the type of credit he deserves. And that shows with, the actors and the crew and everyone involved with this show. The majority of them were only on the show because of him. Because of him. It's not, it's amazing. So to the storyline,
he's a big deal.
Great way to tell the story. Could I have took a couple of more seasons? Yes, but I'm glad that they sort of buttoned it up. You guys kind of nailed it on the head with all of your statements. I couldn't agree more. There hasn't been this quality of an artistic telling of a story in quite some time. My last point will be simply put, it impressed the fuck out of me. That Sonata,
nice.
He basically traveled, because this is based on a true story, and we hear that all the time. And often that just means like, oh, the story about these people, we're going to make something up. Not in this case. Sonata traveled to all of the regions that are represented by those 5 different Japanese tribes, if you want to call them that were in the show, and went through every bit of his possible historical data to create as close to the actual story as possible. I'm probably not going out on a limb when I say this is closest to the actual story as you could get.
So what do you give it as a rating, brother?
I will call this my blunt crown rating. This gets the Moonrock rating until another show takes it or movie takes it. I give it the crown. 5 blunts, baby. Let's go.
Marcus.
Nice. I know initially I had it at 4. I'll go 4.5. I won't go 5, but I'll go 4.5. It's definitely impressive, like Rick said. It's definitely really dope. Really dope.
Sean?
Man, like, I want to go 4.5. I really want to go 5, but it's so hard to say it's perfect, and to me that's perfect. That's perfection. Damn, man. I know it's not going to be like set in stone, but I'm going to have to probably go with a 4.5.
And I will piggyback that 4.5 as well. I love the show. I recommend it. A lot of those actors that are on Shogun are casted in Monarch as well, and they do just as good a job. Especially old girl is Mariko. Oh, Mariko is awesome. Ishido, I think it was Ishido, the dickhead. He plays her dad on Monarch. Great. It's phenomenal. Check it out. 4.5 blunts for me. Now, before we wrap things up, just wanted to touch on this because there's really not too much to touch on. I believe Sean is probably able to just watch this. But it's a, would you call it a docu?
Yeah. More like, those series that you see on YouTube when you're scrolling through the clips and it's like, oh, this person has been interviewed by a so-and-so psychologist and blah, blah, blah. It's a long version of that. It's like a long interview.
It's entitled What Jennifer Did.
It's wild.
Now, this girl, my God, man. Oof. She basically sets it up to kill her fucking parents. She succeeds in having her mother killed. Her dad was injured to the point where he was in a coma.
Yeah, for a while.
Came out of the coma to tell the true story.
But what was it he was in a coma for? He got shot in the eye or some shit, didn't he? Like something you don't want to wake up from?
Yeah, something in the face. You know,
is this recent?
There was like a hole where his nose.
It was a few years back. It wasn't too long ago.
Okay. And it happened in Canada, in the safest town in Canada.
Yeah, super quiet.
It's Markham. I think it's called Markham.
They're beating.
This chick, she has I guess she was dating some dude.
I was like, how do you want to set this up? It's all fucked up.
Yeah, it's all fucked up. She's dating this dude. The parents don't, they're Vietnamese. Let's start off with that. Asians. I hope this doesn't. Wow. They're very particular about their kids and who they date and what they do.
So are white people.
These people. Yeah, but these guys come from a country where, getting food and being able to eat is really difficult. So when they come here, what they experience back home, they don't want to happen here. So they want to be the most successful possible. So this chick...
so they wanted to come to America. Got it.
They mentioned that they're very strict because the level of acceptance is through the roof for people that are immigrants. They have to meet.
You either got to be a doctor, a lawyer. I mean, you got to be up there for them to be proud of you. That's the pressure that they put on these kids. She's dating a drug dealer. It says weed, but I'm assuming it has to be more considering, the dude got busted for trafficking or whatever.
She knew people other than a weed dealer would know. Like, she had connections other than just a weed dealer would have.
Okay. So long story short, they make her break up with him. She's still friends with him. He's dating another chick. She keeps in contact with him, knowing that the parents disapprove. Now, mind you, she's been telling the parents that she's been going to school for, was it pharmacy?
Yeah, it was like pharmacy tech. She was going to university.
She's essentially the Vietnamese Casey Anthony. Lied. She told a ton of lies. Homeboy that she was dating that the parents made her break up with basically tells her, hey, dude, call this guy, set this up, get this shit taken care of so we can be together. So, the parents own the house, so he kind of knew that she was going to come into shit if they were not in the picture.
Dad had literally said to her, he said, you're not able to get with him until I'm dead. So she took it literal and said, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got you. Bet.
Nice.
Yeah. Bet. So she comes downstairs, she unlocks the door, goes back upstairs, sets this whole thing up. These dudes come in there, kill her mom. Again, shoot up the dad. He survives. But when you hear the 911 call, you would have thought she was in danger. Oh, Jennifer. She told a story about having her hands tied behind her back, being tied to the fucking stair post, but yet she's making a 911 call. They had her kind of reenact how she was able to make a 911 call. Yes.
Actually, she blamed it on three black guys. One had a Jamaican accent, one had dreads.
Now I gotta watch it.
Actually.
Well, she's like the other one had a hoodie, but he was darker than the one with the dread. Oh, really, bitch?
Yeah, so she blamed it on the black guys because she knew the cops would believe it more readily.
And dude, when the cops set her up, the cops set her up good, because in Canada, the cops can lie to you.
What Jennifer doesn't know is that in Canada, police are allowed to lie. So long as we're not bringing the administration of justice into disrepute, then we can do that.
Yeah.
They told her,
that was one thing.
He's like, have you ever seen a movie? Because, we can look in through the houses from satellite, infrared, we can see who's moving around and blah, blah, blah.
Now, do you know what satellites can do? Okay, do you watch any of these war programs on TV where you can see the satellite honing in on buildings? And basically, if people are moving around in a house, it's like an X-ray, okay? Are the people in the positions that the witnesses are telling us they were in? Or are they different?
This girl is sitting there the whole time, playing with her hair, because she's so fucking nervous. Like, you can see her hands just like twiddling around. She can't sit still. She knows she's about to be fucking busted.
Bro, and listen, watching the thing the whole time, like, I kind of knew. Like, as soon as I heard the call, I was like, bro, this girl tripping. Like, she did that shit.
Yeah.
I knew. And I was thinking I was so smart, and then I realized I was like, well, it is called What Jennifer Did. So it may have been given away right in the title. I don't think I was that smart. But yeah, it's pretty evident right from the beginning. But the guy goes in there and starts talking to her, and she immediately starts breaking down. She's like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. And it's just like, she's just kind of off, bro. Like, anybody that's going to be and value their relationship. What's fucked up about too, we scheduled this whole thing through her drug dealer boyfriend, who was like, all right, chill, let me get set up. And then he texted her too. There's a chain of texts going back and forth. And he's like, I don't want to be with you. I'm dating this chick now. And she's like, well, call it off then. And he's like, no, bitch, it's not like that. You can't do that. You said you wanted this with me or without. And she's like, no, call it off. And he's like, I can't. No, that's not going to happen. So yeah, she at some point didn't want it to happen necessarily, but that's because he was going to be with this other chick.
But knowing that Jennifer would have a house, insurance money, which is always the fucking motive. Insurance money is always the fucking motive.
She did have a life insurance. Like, she admitted there was a policy or some shit. She's like, I think so.
But do you see how fucking she was like? This is your mom and your dad, dude.
Yeah,
like, no matter how strict they are,
crazy.
If you can't make a way for yourself and you're having to live with your parents, I mean, essentially what they say fucking goes. I don't give a fuck how old you are. You're not paying any rent. You're not paying any fucking bills. You have no fucking responsibility. And you're lying.
Look at it from the parents' perspective, though. To think that your daughter, your flesh and blood, somebody that you bore into this world, could be conspiring with drug dealers and murderers to have you taken the fuck out.
That's crazy.
That's the part that gets the fuck.
Her mother's last words, please don't hurt my daughter.
Jesus. Yeah, that was wild.
Please don't hurt my daughter.
That part.
When her father came out of the coma, he told the cops, he was like, hey, use your detective techniques when you talk to her, because it's gonna come out. He's like, use your techniques.
This time he leans in and he says, use your police techniques. Use your police techniques to find out what Jennifer did.
Like, so he knew. He knew because she told one story where she was tied up to a fucking post. But yet when Dad wakes up, he was like, yeah, she was walking around with the dudes, chatting it up with the dudes.
Mr. Pan tells me that he was on the couch being pistol whipped. Mrs. Pan was sitting in a separate couch, begging for her life. And while this is happening, Jennifer walks down the stairs in the company of one of the suspects. She's without bindings on her hands and appears to be in friendly conversation.
Help me, please, I need help. Calm down, what's going on? Someone broke in and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening, I'm tied upstairs.
See, when he woke up and he found out about that shit, they fucking stationed cops outside of his room so that she couldn't get to him and finish him off.
Jeez.
Yeah. Like, that's how fucking serious it was. They were like, oh, they're in the same hospital. I want cops at that door. Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking nuts,
I guess it's only like an hour and 27 minutes.
That's it.
Yeah, the whole time.
It'd probably be worth watch though. That's wild, man.
I mean, I'll watch it.
Like your own parents, dude. Your own parents.
Like any other.
I don't care
person,
how mad I am.
I've had issues with my folks, and we've argued and whatnot. At no point have I ever thought I need to take their asses out.
That's not an option.
Never.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not even.
I know what I'll do. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's not even real life to me.
There's nothing. Never been anything in my life where I've been like, you know what? I'm just gonna take them out. Like, they don't need to be here. Like, the fuck is wrong with you?
And this is something that I would expect from a teenager. Or somebody going into like she wasn't a teenager, bro. She wasn't.
She was an adult.
She was an adult.
Wow.
That did this. That plotted this. An adult.
Wow.
Because you couldn't make a way for yourself. And I guess I think his name was Daniel Wong. Go fucking figure. I don't know. I guess Wong got a good dong and was like giving it to her good that she had to kill her fucking parents.
That's the drug dealer.
Get some of that. Yeah, that's a drug
he
dealer.
was Vietnamese too.
You know,
or
that last name, I don't know.
Something doesn't add up.
With Vietnamese, it's like Pan, Tran, New, and like I think
it's
he's
like
Chinese.
more Chinese, yeah.
Yeah,
Chinese, Japanese, dirty knees, look at these.
That's tough, bro.
Yeah,
that's tough,
boy.
It's like, like I said, like I don't know, like it's never been a thought. Like Sean said, that's not even like a real thing. Like there's no way that people actually do that. But I mean,
how does your mind connect that dot?
Exactly. Like there's something wrong. Like there's something not wired right in your brain to have that even be an option, let alone go through with it.
Yeah, the fact that synapse connects and you're like, oh, maybe I'll just kill him. You're like, okay, you're fucked. Like there's something fucked.
Let's just face it. Some
people are evil,
fucking
man.
Evil.
That's fucking evil.
Day. Even the shit that they don't make Netflix documentaries about. You know what I mean? Like that shit happens every day. It's fucking shame.
Man.
And then like the half-hearted, call it off because we're not gonna be together. Like, man, that's fucking nonsense. Like that's not, like I said, that's not even a real thing. Like that's not something that you would actually do unless there's like something fucking wrong with you, like mentally.
Is this like Jerry Springer shit? Like, is it like made up?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, to me, it's almost like you don't have a real view of the world. Like it's just simulated. Like, we've talked about it being a simulation, but like to me, that kind of action can only happen if you don't think shit's real. Like, how can you just look at people that brought you into the world and be like, you know what, dude? I wonder what it would be like with them out of the picture. Like, to connect that dot and to go that route and be like, I'm gonna follow this.
You should want to kill the motherfucker that kills them. Like that's how you're like.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look at Batman. Like,
and
what the opposite
her,
of Batman?
Right? Like, they weren't mistreating her and like abusing
they were just strict. They were just strict. They were just strict parents.
That's all. No, it's like one thing if they were like beating the shit out of her since she was a baby and like gave her a reason. Right.
Daddy was, like I was, what's funny when you were telling the story in the beginning of it, I was thinking of like Natural Born Killers, how Mickey came and helped Mallory kill her fucking parents and blah 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 blah. Like I get it. Like
it's kind of justified. They're
ass fucking
anti-heroes,
trash motherfuckers, and the dad's fucking raping her and got her fucking all kinds of wild ass fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, I could get it, but that just, I don't know, man. That's just
being strict. Just being strict.
Just being strict parents. Strict. They were strict parents. They wanted their daughter to succeed. They were giving her every opportunity to try to be successful. You know what I'm saying? But
she'll get you killed.
Yeah, that's a death sentence, I guess.
To wrap it up, I just want to say that one of the detectives, I believe it was the first detective, because they have the cameras in the interrogation room.
Yeah,
I forget what his name is. If you ever catches wind of this, hey, dude, that camera did not do you justice. You look like the white LeBron James.
Yeah,
you might as well just shave it, bro. Just shave it off.
That second guy that came in there fucking destroyed her though. That guy ripped her a new asshole. The truth teller guy. The guy that they brought in to fucking like detect that he's like a lie expert or some shit. They brought in from another town. And he's just like, okay. They squared her up and he's like, we're gonna talk. And she's like, shit.
And like, dude, she couldn't even look at him. She was just like,
oh, she was done.
But to the first detective, just shave it off. But I mean,
dude, done.
It's going to be okay.
The fight is lost.
It's over. It's over.
It happens. It happens.
But, thank you for joining us. I want to thank Unique and Al again for joining us last episode.
Yes, sir.
We look forward to having them back on again. If you guys are looking for any artwork, again, please hit my nephew Nate up. His info is in our bio. Sean is no longer doing timeshare, so do not call Sean for any timeshares, folks. I repeat, do not call Sean for any timeshare.
But call me.
For sure. And like, subscribe, share,
yes,
comment.
Please. Oh,
interact.
Shout out to my auntie Jackie. She listens to us. Guys, she thinks we're good. She loves what we've been putting out, especially our
Aunt Jackie.
Episode. We love you. Yes. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Back to you, folks.
And if you like our intro and outro track, it's called Trap Sax by an artist named Nish. You can find his music on SoundCloud and YouTube. Check him out.
Yeah, yes. So that's all the time we have. Thanks again for joining us. Signing off. I'm Al. Joined by Marcus, Rick, and Sean. Peace.
Later.